Trump's strange obsession with President William McKinley has long stayed in the shadows. For Trump, McKinley was not just a forgotten president, but a blueprint for power. Secret donations, monuments, bizarre executive orders, and even conspiracy theories all point to a deeper fascination. In this article, we will break down the most controversial and shocking reasons behind Trump's fixation on McKinley and why it matters more than people think. Number 1. McKinley, the forgotten king of tariffs, Trump's favorite weapon. Trump's obsession with McKinley began with the Dingley Tariff Act of 1897, the most protectionist law of its era. This act, pushed by McKinley's allies like Representative Nelson Dingley Jr., raised duties on hundreds of imported goods. Duties on woolen goods shot up to 50%, sugar to nearly 60%, and steel products often exceeded 45%. Trump admired these numbers, calling them beautiful numbers during a 2018 meeting, according to Axios. McKinley got it right. "You protect American workers, you get strong," Trump said bluntly. But Trump, like McKinley, ignored the fallout. Historians agree that the Dingley tariff triggered sharp retaliations, especially from Europe. German Chancellor Bernhard von Bülow retaliated with tariffs on American grain, causing U.S. farm exports to plummet between 1898 and 1899. The Panic of 1899 soon followed, fueled by shrinking exports and falling prices. American farmers, especially in the Midwest, accused McKinley of sacrificing them for industrial tycoons like Carnegie and Rockefeller. Trump, however, loved this model. Gary Cohn revealed that Trump kept tariff tables from the 1897 Act on his desk and repeatedly asked, "Why don't we just do it like McKinley?" Even when Midwest farmers, a core part of Trump's base, begged him to soften the China tariffs, Trump brushed them off, just like McKinley did over a century earlier. For Trump, McKinley's tariffs were not just policy, but a symbol of uncompromising strength. Number 2. The McKinley Monument obsession, secret donations and private pilgrimages. Between 2014 and 2020, Trump secretly donated around $750,000 to McKinley monuments, including the McKinley National Memorial in Canton, Ohio, Politico. He never made these donations public, fueling rumors of a personal cult around McKinley. Secret Service logs later showed Trump privately visited the McKinley tomb at least twice, once during the 2016 campaign and once after leaving office. The real presidential palace, Trump allegedly called it. Mark Meadows revealed Trump even floated building a giant replica of the monument near his own future library, saying, "People need to learn from winners, not losers." Number 3. The businessman President Trump calls McKinley America's first CEO. Trump has repeatedly referred to McKinley not just as a president, but as America's first CEO. In private meetings during the 2016 campaign, according to former advisor Corey Lewandowski, Trump often said, "McKinley ran America like a business, not a charity, just like I will." Trump saw McKinley as a corporate-minded leader who treated the U.S. economy like a profit-making enterprise. Indeed, McKinley maintained close ties with industrial giants such as J.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, and John D. Rockefeller. His administration was openly pro-business, championing monopolies and consolidations under the guise of sound economic policy. Between 1897 and 1901, the number of corporate mergers exploded, including the creation of the United States Steel Corporation, which became the world's first billion-dollar company in 1901. Trump, fascinated by this period, privately praised McKinley for ignoring loser critics who called it corruption. In a 2017 meeting with Steve Bannon, Trump allegedly said, "They called him a puppet of the monopolies, I call him a genius." Trump openly admired how McKinley navigated political power through industrial alliances, calling him the president who wasn't afraid to make deals with the big boys. What shocked even Trump's staff was how far Trump internalized this model. According to leaked memos, Trump considered reviving an industrial council composed of CEOs to advise the White House directly, citing McKinley's ties to business titans as historical justification. His team, fearing backlash, quickly buried the idea, but the admiration remained. Number 4. The first Trump? Trump's claim that McKinley was the original anti-globalist. Trump often called McKinley the first Trump behind closed doors. In 2017, he told Bannon, "McKinley was Trump before Trump, he smashed the globalists." McKinley's slogan, patriotism, protection, and prosperity, was, in Trump's eyes, the precursor to America First. Under McKinley, tariffs crippled European exporters, triggering retaliation that hurt U.S. farmers. Yet, McKinley stayed firm and still won re-election. Trump saw this as proof: toughness beats criticism. In a 2019 rally, Trump even called McKinley the greatest president nobody talks about. I talk about him. Number 5. Trump's 2025 executive order, renaming Denali back to Mount McKinley. In February 2025, Trump signed an executive order officially renaming Denali back to Mount McKinley, reversing Obama's 2015 decision. Native Alaskan groups and even Republicans condemned the move, but Trump called it a great day for history. Senator Lisa Murkowski called the act an insult to Alaskans, but Trump brushed it off, saying McKinley has been disrespected long enough. Insiders claim Trump saw the renaming as personal. "McKinley would have loved me," Trump allegedly told aides. Critics viewed it as pure political theater, but for Trump, it was a symbolic tribute to his favorite president. Number 6. The assassination fascination, Trump's strange comments on McKinley's death. Trump repeatedly made disturbing remarks about McKinley's 1901 assassination. "McKinley got shot and still won, that's strength," Trump joked during a 2018 lunch, Politico. He often questioned why McKinley wasn't wearing a bulletproof vest, until reminded it was 1901. Trump even entertained conspiracy theories, claiming McKinley's Republican rivals didn't mind losing him. Staffers worried Trump viewed the assassination not as tragedy but as proof of political toughness. Surviving scandals or even chaos could strengthen a leader's image. Number 7. Gold standard dreams, Trump's secret support for McKinley's monetary legacy. Trump has privately praised McKinley for defending the gold standard, a policy most economists today reject. During the 1896 election, McKinley crushed William Jennings Bryan, who championed free silver, by firmly backing gold as the foundation of U.S. currency. This secured the loyalty of bankers and industrialists, but worsened deflation and hurt debt-ridden farmers. In a closed-door 2017 meeting, according to Axios, Trump asked Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, "Why don't we go back to gold?" It worked for McKinley. Advisors dismissed it as a passing comment, but Gary Cohn later confirmed that Trump brought it up multiple times. Trump admired that McKinley sided with the money guys and ignored what he called crybaby farmers. Some aides feared Trump genuinely believed returning to the gold standard would fix the economy overnight. He reportedly liked how McKinley's policy empowered banks and corporations, even at the expense of rural America. This shocked economic advisors, who quietly made sure the idea never reached the public. For Trump, McKinley's gold loyalty wasn't just monetary policy, it was proof that a president could side with elites, face criticism, and still win. Number 8. McKinley's corrupt 1896 campaign, a blueprint for Trump's strategy. Trump often called McKinley's 1896 presidential campaign the smartest ever, privately admitting he borrowed tactics from it. McKinley, through his campaign manager Mark Hanna, raised an unprecedented $3.5 million, over $100 million today, from big business, especially bankers, oil magnates, and steel tycoons. Hanna used the money for aggressive media control, mass mailers, and paid operatives, tactics critics labeled as pure manipulation. In 2016, Trump told Steve Bannon, "McKinley bought the election and they still called him a hero," according to The New Yorker. Trump openly admired how Hanna flooded swing states with pro-McKinley materials while starving Bryan's campaign of attention. Trump echoed this by dominating media with rallies, scandals, and relentless coverage, creating what some insiders called a modern Hanna effect. Even more controversially, Trump in 2020 reportedly asked Jared Kushner if they could set up something like Hanna's network to secretly fund pro-Trump groups, according to Politico. While the full plan was never executed, fragments appeared in Trump's use of PACs and friendly media outlets. For Trump, McKinley wasn't just a historical figure, he was proof that political power could be outright bought, as long as you win. Number 9. The Hidden Tariff Commission, Trump's quiet attempt to copy McKinley's shadow cabinet. Trump seriously considered copying McKinley's use of a secretive tariff board. McKinley quietly shaped trade policy through back channels like the Board of Appraisers, avoiding Congress. In 2018, Trump asked Peter Navarro, "Can we have a board like McKinley did?" No leaks, just us. Trump envisioned a private group of CEOs and loyalists to control tariffs without interference. While the idea alarmed Treasury officials and was buried, Trump continued making key trade decisions informally at Mar-a-Lago, bypassing his own departments just like McKinley had done. Number 10. The Trump-McKinley Presidential Library, a hidden monument to himself. After leaving office, Trump floated building a joint presidential library dedicated to both himself and McKinley. The plan, discussed in 2021, involved a massive complex near McKinley's Ohio hometown. Trump called it a library about winners. Early drafts included exhibits on the Dingley tariff, the gold standard, and even a proposed glass dome. Jared Kushner and Stephen Miller were asked to quietly scout land. Though financial and legal obstacles killed the project, Trump still spoke of it at fundraisers in 2024. To Trump, McKinley wasn't just history, he was a partner in legacy building.